Aloha, good morning everyone. Welcome. It's Anil on the mic with you for the second hour of Traxx Midday Buzz. And as you are well aware of, from Mondays to Thursdays in the second hours of Midday Buzz, we bring you special interview features. And today, on this Talk to Me Nice Thursday, we are face to face with a special guest in the studio. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about the topic that we're going to tackle today. It's something that is quietly affecting all of us in the country. Realize it or not, it is our population, declining population. That is becoming a much talked about, issue globally as well every year. On July the 11th, that is tomorrow, the world sort of pauses to reflect on population trends. And this year, World Population Day 2025 brings along some very hard realities. Shrinking fertility rates, societal norms that are shifting when it comes to setting up a family or having children. And today we are going to unpack the big picture. And to help us just do that, we have the head of research and data management unit at the Population and Family Research Division of LPPKN, Mr. Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad. Mr. Ahmad Hashimi, welcome to Traxx.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The pleasure is ours. So how about we start off with something that's quite, popular right now, fertility rates. Yeah, we've seen an influx as well of many fertility clinics right now being on the rise to help people conceive children. So is it really a big problem in Malaysia? And, why should we be worried about this?
Okay, well, Malaysia's fertility rate has been declining steadily for several decades now. And this trend carries important implication our future. To really understand what's going on here, we need to start with what is fertility rate means. The total fertility rate, or we call it TFR, refers to average number of children a woman would have over her reproductive lifetime. So, back in the 70s, we do have 5 children per woman, but now we only have 1.7 children per woman. So it's way below replacement level, which means 2.1 children, which is 2, to replace you. I mean, we need a population that replace us 2. 2 of us, spouse, we are a spouse, and from children, 2 from children.
Yeah.
So this level needed for a population to replace itself without relying on immigration. So the question is, should we be worried? And it's not a straightforward yes or no. So it depends. From the economists and demographers' point of view, there should be yes, we should be worried, because a declining fertility means fewer workers. I mean, economic growth getting slower and pressure on a social system. And then there's a valid concern because of Malaysia now is navigating its development path. So, but the environment point of view, the slower population growth may ease the pressure on natural resources and reduce carbon emissions, and to open opportunities for sustainable urban planning. So that's, in a sense, lower fertility rate is not necessarily negative, but it depends on how we manage it. So rather than we asking, should we be worried, we should ask, are we ready? Are we ready to adapt our economy, social system, or family policies in the changing population age structure right now?
Right. On the crossroad of asking ourselves, are we ready? Of course, there are many public information that has been declared, especially by the Ministry of Health, where they've said that by 2040, Malaysia is going to become an aging population. We are gearing towards becoming an aging population, and so if we have very low fertility rates and the population is on the decline, it seems like maybe the older people might not have the younger ones to depend on, maybe as well, right? For
Definitely.
them to get the necessary help. Now let's unpack the other part of it, about Malaysians having fewer children. Yeah, Hashimi. One could make up the argument in present times that most couples are not having children due to economic reasons, financial reasons. Is that true based on your research? What have you found out?
Yes, definitely, certainly, and the most popular reason is economic pressure.
Yeah.
So many young people now today feel that raising a child,
Yeah.
raising a child is too expensive, And according to AKPK, I got it from AKPK,
Yeah.
the estimated cost of raising a child from infancy to universities, wait for it, from 400,000 ringgit to 1.4 million ringgit for a child.
Wow.
So I think that's a staggering figure, right?
Very.
So if you ask me, if I'm a young population, I'll be think twice to get married or to starting a family. So, but it's just not about daily expenses like food or clothing. It's a long-term responsibility like childcare, healthcare, even buying a house nowadays. And then on top of that, salaries are not grown as fast as our cost of living.
Yeah.
So especially in the mega cities like KL or Klang Valley. So naturally, people start asking, can I really afford to raise a child the way I want to? And for many, the mathematics just doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think you said something that could be a very good sort of a why, which is, can I afford to have a child the way I want to? Right? Because we all have dreams and aspirations of raising our children.
Definitely.
As parents, we would think that, I went to, I didn't have a bicycle. I didn't have the privilege, the luxuries of going for holidays or going to a private school or an international school maybe and getting top tier education. And as a parent, I want to give that to my children.
Definitely.
But financially, if you're not able to do that, then maybe the pressure's on you. And you also mentioned the other thing about, declining populations is that the workforce will be affected as well. Yeah, and with very limited resources available. Now, and the other thing that you said as well is once upon a time a woman had 5 children, but right now that has declined.
Yeah.
Now, why is it you think that Malaysians are actually having fewer children nowadays?
I think we just talk about money, about economics, but I think more than that.
Yes.
Yeah. Money plays a big part, and sometimes even not a big one. So it makes, we study population, we see that people are getting married later than before. So many young Malaysians now choose to focus on education, to focus on building the career and achieving the personal goals, traveling. That's the most important part of the young people right now.
Work-life balance, travel, freedom, and all those things, yeah.
And then before they settle down. Then it makes sense because after all, everyone wants to stand on a solid ground before they're starting a family. So, that's a problem with delaying marriage. The one problem with delaying marriage is there's a chance to have a children. The windows of having a children is getting smaller and smaller.
Right.
That's a problem. Then the question of another issue is emotional readiness. The problem is like some couple feels like they are not yet mature enough to face the responsibility,
right.
Lifelong responsibility of raising a child.
Yeah.
They want to be a good parent, not just provider, and that requires time, energy, and peace of mind. And then the question, another issue is like work-life balance.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for young people right now. That many Malaysians working long hours, and then with the rise of dual income household, time real luxury. Right? See. So
plus, they also need to consider if they have a child, they would think if my wife is working and I'm working, who's going to look after my child?
Yes,
it's an additional cost to get a helper as well. Yeah.
Yes, that's another cost. Yeah. Yeah. If people feel that having a child means sacrificing everything else, so it makes them pause. So then another problem, the practical or structural concerns like affordability of childcare, a good, reliable childcare. So that's the problem. So especially in urban, and they may also find a little flexibility at the workplace, and this limitation can make family life feel like an uphill battle for them. So, and then we must not avoid. Another thing is we must not talk about gender roles. So in many families, especially in Asian and Malaysia, so the bulk of parenting duties are from school to prep the meals, everything else is falls to the women.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. That's the gender issue right now. Then even in the household where both parents working full time, women often carry a invisible load of family life. So this imbalance causes many women to hesitate because they know the burden will fall disproportionately on them.
Wow.
So therefore, sometimes some women, for them, starting a family can feel like carrying the weight of the world. That's the problem.
Yeah. Not enough that they're carrying the weight of the child for 9 months. After that comes to the bigger responsibility on their shoulders as well. Yeah, I think as men, we need to step up so that we can help contribute towards the rise of the population as well. That's a very important point that you mentioned there. Let's go in for a quick break. When we come back, we shall resume our conversation. Today on Face to Face, I'm speaking to Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad, the Head of Research and Data Management Unit, the Population and Family Research Division of LPPKN, and he's today talking to us about World Population Day 2025, which will be celebrated globally tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Right. By the way, Chenta is the name of the person whose voice was in the promo earlier. Yeah, she said we're talking about things that impact our country. We are talking about something that impacts our country. We're talking about our population in conjunction with World Population Day, an initiative that was started by the United Nations way back in 1989. And to talk to us about this and unpack this topic, our guest in the studio is the Head of Research and Data Management Unit, the Population and Family Research Division of LPPKN, Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad. Hashimi, welcome back to Face to Face. Now, okay, we know that it is no secret that more and more Malaysians are delaying getting married, and some of them who are already married are even furthermore delaying having children simply because of personal reasons. They want to have better career growth, financial stability, maybe they have certain goals that they want to achieve, and so having a child is maybe at the bottom of the to-do list. They want to sort of, in typical Malaysian term, they want to kautim other things first before having a child. Now, this is certainly a shift in mindset by many Malaysians. And so how is LPPKN addressing this mindset shift?
All right. At LPPKN, we recognize that the family formation is changing, and that is not necessarily a bad thing for us. And it reflects how society is evolving. And, there's but we cannot afford to do is to ignore the challenges that comes with these changes, And what we are doing can be explained in two ways from LPPKN. First, we are gathering data through national surveys, national level surveys. We do a public dialogues, we do seminars, we do conferences, and research to understand what young people are thinking and what they need and what stands in their way when it comes to marriage and parenthood. So, and then, based on these insights, we advocate for policies. We providing programs. We build a programs that can help. This include pushing for a better access to a quality and affordable childcare, or longer or more flexible parental leave, or encouraging employers to create more family-friendly workplace. That's very important. And from LPPKN program itself, we do have infertility treatments and advocacy. We have a program called Buai, and pre-marriage courses like Smart Start. We do have a parenting at work. Means you can learn parenting courses at work. And for youth, we have Cafe at Teen. And through Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development, we are also working to ensure population issues are included in a national planning effort. So because this is not just about personal choice, it's about whether the country is prepared to support those choices through the right policies and programs. Yeah.
Hashimi, you mentioned about the Smart Start program. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit, because I was reading something about it, but wasn't able to grasp much information. Tell us about that.
That is courses of pre-marriage courses,
right,
to prepare all the couples to learn on how they can learn, they can foresee, they can envision how to deal with family issues,
right,
parenthood, parenting, and all of it. I think there's a robust parenting course.
The mental challenges to handle them, yeah? Preparedness, correct. And let's talk now about World Population Day 2025. Tell us about the theme this year.
All right. The theme of Population Day this year, empowering young people to create the families they want in a fair and hopeful world. That's a strong theme this year. And they speak to the heart of what countries like Malaysia are advocating. That means fundamental rights of every person, and especially young people, to make informed, free and supported decisions about their reproductive lives. So it reminds us that fertility is just not about statistics. It's about choice. Many still face obstacles when it comes to starting or growing a family, and then including high living costs, unstable job, gender inequality, like I said just now, lack of childcare, or even a stigma around fertility and marriage decisions. So what the team highlights this year is we cannot simply encourage people to have more children without addressing the real structural barriers in their way. So we need to create a fair world where young people are supported emotionally, financially, and socially. So regardless of whether they choose to have 2 children, 3 children, or no children, it's up to them. But we support them, right? So young people need to feel that their future is not only secure, but worth investing in. So that raising a family will not sacrificing their well-being or dignity. So this year's theme is really a call to action, to listen to young people, to trust them with their own choices, and to ensure that the world they are inheriting give them a real meaningful option when it comes to building a family's they ambition. So this is not about pressure, this is about hope. Right.
You're giving them hope. Great. We'll go for another quick break here, Valerie. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with our guests in the studio. We're today talking about World Population Day 2025 with the Head of Research and Data Management Unit at LPPKN, Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad. We'll be right back. Traxx Midday Buzz. My name is Anil on the mic. And face to face with me in the studios is the head of research and data management unit of LPPKN. His name is Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad. Hashimi, welcome back to Face to Face.
Thank you again.
And Hashimi today has been speaking to us and sharing some insights into some of the data that LPPKN has obtained from everyday Malaysians on what's stopping them from setting up a family and getting married and so on. It's very insightful, very interesting to get a perspective of how things are looking like among Malaysians.
Right.
And as we know, tomorrow, World Population Day, it's going to be celebrated. We found out the theme earlier on. Now, what is LPPKN in particular? What is it doing to celebrate this day?
Okay, and for World Population Day 2025 this year, LPPKN is organizing events across the country, from a national forum to a state-level seminars, all focusing on population and family-related issues. So the highlights will be a national-level forum on 21st of July 2025, held at Lanai Kijang, Bank Negara, Kuala Lumpur. So the forum is titled "Tackling the Population Crisis," again, the crisis again, and towards a sustainable, inclusive future. So, and we will bring together all the experts from various sectors, like including policymakers, researchers, academics, scholars, and youth leaders. So the goal is to openly discuss Malaysia's demographic challenges, and particularly declining fertility, and to explore the holistic solutions that reflect the realities of young people today. So at this forum as well, our Minister of Women, Family Community Development, YB Datuk Sri Hajah Nancy Shukri, will officiate the event. And also, she will launch the UNFPA's 2025 flagship report, State of World Population Report, titled "The Real Fertility Crisis again," and the pursuit of a reproductive agency in a changing world. So this global report highlights how fertility decisions are shaped not just by personal preference, but by a broader system that either support or restrict reproductive choice. So beyond the national forum, we also have coordinating state-level seminars on population issues throughout all 14 states in Malaysia that are taking place from July to August. So it's like 2 months. Then these seminars will be locally driven and in collaboration with LPPKN state offices. We have a state office all over countries, and with strategic partners including state governments, universities, and civil societies. So we aim to localize population discussion because each state has its own unique population issues. So we're also supporting this effort by public outreach also for World Population Day, including these media interviews and awareness campaign and knowledge sharing platform. So we do have a podcast, LPPKN, we do have a podcast to disseminate what is World Population Day, and to ensure the message of World Population Day reach every layer of Malaysian society. So in short, this year's celebration is not just a symbolic, but it's a strategy. Yeah, it's about engaging all levels of society. So in understanding how population trends may impact our future, how can we support our young population, and building a family for day one. So with fairness and hope again.
Yeah,
right.
Building a family that I want, the way I want.
Yes, the way I want.
Could you re-mention the theme for World Population Day 2025? What's the theme again, Hashimi?
Empowering young people to create the families they want in a fair and hopeful world.
Empowering young people to create a family they want in a fair and
hopeful
world. Now, keeping this theme in mind, how do you wish, or rather, how does LPPKN wish to translate this theme so that it relates to the everyday Malaysian in conjunction with World Population Day this year?
Okay, the key message of this theme for this year, I think, we cannot build a sustainable future without supporting the people who shape that future. That is young people. We cannot build without them. So we want Malaysians to understand that population trends are just not a number. They reflect real lives, real families, and real hopes. And young people are at the heart of it. So it's time to shift a narrative. Low fertility isn't just a numbers. So it's a societal reflection. and it's everyone's interest to create a condition for families to grow, to thrive, and feel hopeful about the future.
Right. Okay. Ahmad, Hashimi, Mohamad, thank you very much for coming over here to face and sharing all these insightful data and information you have from LPPKN. We wish you more success in terms of getting the word out to the Malaysian public so that our population is stable, at least, not on the decline. Yeah, stable, and we have a young population in future. Any final thoughts for our listeners on what they can do maybe to participate, or what they can do to, help contribute towards the population in the nation?
Yeah, I keep it simple in a generic term.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a policymaker to make a difference. Every Malaysian has a role to play. So, for example, if you are an employer, consider how your workplace supports families. Right. If you are a teacher, talk about family life as part of preparing students for adulthood. If you are a parent, share your experience honestly. And if you are young and still figuring things out, you know that your voice matters.
Right.
Use it, support each other, talk to each other. Don't be afraid to question the system that makes family life harder than it needs to be. At the end of the day, strong population is built not only by numbers, but by trust. Trust that our government or country will support us through each stage of life. And that is really what World Population Day is about.
Right.
Thank you.
Ahmad, Hashimi, thank you very much for coming over
you.
here and spending your last 30 minutes giving us all these insights. We look forward to having you in the studios again. You take care.
Thank you very much, Anil.
All right, that's a wrap for today's edition of Face to Face on Traxx Midday Buzz. We spoke to Ahmad Hashimi Mohamad. He's the head of research at Data Management Unit at the Population and Family Research Division of LPPKN. And he today spoke to us about tomorrow's World Population Day 2025. We took a deep dive into the theme and also some of the other issues that are being faced by the Malaysian public when it comes to setting up their family. Now, if you missed out on any part of this conversation, worry not, you can catch the replay by visiting Traxx FM Official's Facebook page, and then watch and get all the insights that you need. And just to leave you with some more other anecdotes, as Malaysians, if you want to contribute towards the population, maybe what you can do now is you can start the conversation. Start the conversation, whether it's with your partner, your family, or your community. And if you can, participate in all of these programs, especially the ones that are organized by LPPKN, because these are some very smart people who are working really hard to ensure that the population of the country doesn't go on the decline. And also, as we know, by 2040, Malaysia is moving towards becoming an aging population, and we need to tackle that. And the only way to tackle that is by having a youthful generation that's ready to hold on the strength of the nation. Coming up, we've got the news at 12, and I shall be back with you for more of the Midday Buzz.